Welcome, Tech3 Media friends. We are going to be talking about things like Airchat, Ordinals, runes, nodes. Oh my, yes, a lot of things going on in the space right now. I'm the one that sits through the 3-hour spaces with Casey Waldemar and everybody just sitting there asking the same question over and over and over. So you don't have to. Here's the TLDR as we go through what's going on today in the space and everyone preparing for what seems to be the Armageddon of the Bitcoin chain. But I think that's the point. And if you follow the show, please follow along, like, subscribe, all those great things, because that's the point of all this. And we'll talk about more. Airchat is kind of an easy one. That's the layup for the day. Airchat is actually fun. It's basically a chat program for Airchat. Hey, for people in proximity. So it utilizes Bluetooth. I'm kind of excited that they're launching for Coachella this year, because that might be really exciting. Just being able to see who's around you, who's available to chat within Bluetooth signal. That just sounds like a massive hookup tool, actually. Think about it. So good luck to those who are dating on Airchat now. But that's what all those influencers are chatting about right now. But in this whole subsection of ordinals, runes, nodes, yes, oh my, there's a lot of talk. There's so many little bits of information. It's really hard to gather, what's going on and where you should position yourself, within the hubbub. But ultimately, I think a lot of us have gotten to that point where we understand that, ordinals are NFTs on Bitcoin, permanently inscribed. Okay, we got that. Move on. Runes, what are runes? Right now, everyone's equating runes to meme coins for now, because they're the low-hanging fruit. And that's what's typical of any chain, like to test a chain, Solana, etc. We're seeing it being tested, that you're going to test the chain by this activity and really stress test. And for me, that scares me, because when we're messing with Bitcoin, I'm a bit of a maxi, like a little bit of a maxi. And when we're talking about messing with the network, when we're talking about messing with block size growth, when ordinals came along, I was actually slight anti. Like I watched it and I was definitely paying attention. I didn't get my first ordinal until Oniforce. And then Tiny Vikings, and shout out to both those guys, because those are among the projects that are educating. And I think that, again, I'll make some recommendations as to which projects, Pizza Ninjas, just shout out right now, are really helping their communities move forward with understanding why technically they might want to be in this position of having their own node and how to prepare for runes. It kind of comes back to, again, that block size growth with ordinals was very, very scary. It must have been like 5-6 times, like in terms of block size. And if you had been, I've been a miner for a while, a long time ago as a miner for Bitcoin, and then I sort of saw the waste. But also at the same time, I saw what happened to the ETH miners. ETH miners proof of work. The block size got so big because of the activity and the size of the block that a whole subsection of miners had to be thrown out, literally just thrown out, sold on eBay, reduced to mining altcoins that were far less sexy than ETH. But they had to then look at, what to do with this mining community. And it was a big tumultuous event to lose, sort of your investment within, mining ETH. And that scared me that this was potentially that. Ordinals was that for Bitcoin. And growing the block size, because the block size now is massive. It took 2 days for me to to download the block, considerably large and escalating because of ordinals, and that scared me a little bit. But that's why I'm really excited about runes, because runes is not only simplifying and making it slightly less scary for me and the block size, but it's also possibly exciting because there's flexibility within the code that I'm seeing that might even replace ordinals to some degree. Because there's enough flexibility in which to place and play with and allow people to sort of express and play with the technology. And so we'll take a step into the runes engagement by setting up a node later in the episode. First, we're going to do a little bit of boring stuff, going through a bit of a rundown, a TLDR, if you will, for those who haven't caught up yet. About 5-10 minutes of just quickly going through. But then the why, right? Before we get into all that, why do I want to set up a node? Why should I go through this process? And it sounds tedious, and I go and you try and search and there's nothing there, right? There's literally nothing there online when you're searching, when you're Googling. This is how new this is. This is how early you are. the algorithm hasn't really caught up to what's going on in this space, and that's where we'll go actually to the next slide here. Is we're going to talk about OKX is one of those exchanges that utilizes these SEO terms in order to pull people into their network, and so to trade there. But they do provide some of the best guides on these things, and so but they're so early you can't really search for these unless you like look for them. So we'll look at OKX together. Also have Gate.io does a really good job too. We'll shout out Gate.io. Maybe take a look at Gate.io's offerings as well. But again, stepping back, why the nodes, Minty? Why do I want to get a node? And it kind of comes back to an old school term that if you were early on ETH, you know this term, and it might strike fear into your heart and may get you to understand this a little better. Do you remember when we were all minting on ETH and the gas wars, and we were online and we were, looking at these websites, we're like jumping on there and we're, it's 12:01. Okay, why isn't it open? Why isn't it open? And we're yelling at each other in Discord. We're trying to mint on the website, and suddenly it sells out because somebody has been minting on contract. That's the nodes, guys. That's basically it. Minting, the ability to mint on contract, the ability to work outside of the network that is being clogged to your benefit. So this is why a lot of people are preparing for this activity of runes with nodes. So this is kind of the big mystery of like, why do I need it? If you're that type, if you're the degen that's going to get in there, if you were that type, if you were the one who was sniping me for like Oni Force back in the day, all the ones, oh my gosh, I get like flashbacks. That was traumatizing. The gas wars, and then to find out, and we went over on the show a long time ago how to mint by contract eventually, because we were just like, wait, how did it sell out? Like the website's stuck. Somebody's working under the system directly with the blockchain. That's what we're talking about here. And so I invite you to hang out with me. I've got a little hip hop vibe going on in the background, if you can hear that. And we'll take a look at a really nice overview that the exchanges do. Again, they want really good, strong overviews. A, so they look like they know what they're talking about. But B, also because, let me make sure that you guys can see at least a little bit of it. How about that look? I'll put this down below as well. I apologize, guys. That's not coming out as nice as I'd like it to be. So let me rescale and do it a little better. It's a little better, guys. Is that a little better? Maybe that a little better. So they want to have like basically SEO around search engine optimization around people being able to find this stuff. And so 2 days ago, OKX was like, yeah, we're going to provide wallets for runes. We're going to do all these things. So they need to like let everybody know, and this is part of that SEO publicity in a sense. And so, but they've done a really, I think, pretty good snapshot of what this is. And so I want to run through it with you. And again, link will be down below. But Runes Protocol, TLDR, let's do that, right? Runes Protocol is a UTXO-based fungible token protocol for the Bitcoin blockchain. The system focuses on efficiency, enhanced features, and community involvement, and is timed to coincide with the halving. That's why everyone's freaking out, like, oh, it's 420. That's about when the blocks are going to, turn over, and then the halving is going to occur. That's why everyone's kind of looking at this, and so I'll be hopefully trying to put this into context for you guys. Runes provides an alternate to traditional models like BRC20 and ORC20. With the UTXO model, Runes simplifies token creation and management, offering a more streamlined approach than address-based and off-chain protocols. Again, streamlined being just so important for the health of the network, so that it's not too bulky and just full of, no offense, node monkeys or your beautiful puppets, but to have these ugly things that I don't own, that you own, you're very proud of, and they're beautiful to you, might not be beautiful to have on the network that's weighing on financial systems that BlackRock is buying. So that's why. Runes integrates seamlessly with Bitcoin's architecture, helping to reduce blockchain bloat and improve scalability. Exactly. It's working within the metadata and utilizing things that are kind of already there. Runes sets a new benchmark for token protocols, offering a user-friendly system that minimizes the creation of junk UTXOs. Runes are considered by many to be less complex. The data-efficient structure may attract developers and foster innovation within the Bitcoin community. And again, the hint there is it could replace Ordinals in a sense. in a larger degree. And so the Runes protocol is in addition to the Bitcoin system, introducing novel approach to fungible tokens. That's why everyone's like, oh, it's meme coins. It's meme coins. I understand fungible tokens. Those are the things that make me rich. Generational wealth. Here it comes. That's why everyone's getting a node. These tokens are digital assets, which every unit is indistinguishable and exchangeable, much like traditional currencies. Runes protocol stands out because it stores any number of runes in a single UTXO. This is a distinction from the restrictions regularly seen on other token protocols, where address-based or off-chain approaches are more common. To many users within the Bitcoin network, the OTXO-based approach adopted by Runes provides a smoother and more integrated experience. You can kind of name your addition. So if you don't have to create every single token. You can say, I want 100 pink-eyed Vikings to be this set, and you can kind of distinguish your additions in this way on a single set. So meanwhile, integrating the Runes protocol into Bitcoin enhances blockchain capabilities, offering new asset assurance and management avenues. The expansion is a technical advancement and a step towards greater adoption utility of Bitcoin for various applications beyond mere currency exchange. So again, everyone's running for this idea that this, is meme coins, It's meme coins, but this is why I'm here and I'm talking about this. I'm not talking, sure we talk about how do we get rich, but how do we get rich in ways that I think enrich a lot of our lives in different ways, as well as technologically. This is going to fuel and power adoption onto Bitcoin, making it functional in a way that it's never been before. That it wasn't designed for, but Casey Rotemar is very, very smart and figured out ways of utilizing the cracks and the seams within the handshakes between the protocol that make it functional for things down the line. Hey, that could disrupt the traditional banking. They could disrupt a lot of things. So, of course, we're going to mention Casey Rotemar. Known for creating the Ordinals protocol. He ventured into fungible tokens through Runes, reportedly fueled by a desire to enhance Bitcoin's capabilities while addressing existing challenges in tokenization. Initially doubted the need for a new fungible token protocol, recognizing the fraudulent activities was sometimes in the fungible token space. Knowing much that such coins would likely persist for a long time, much like casinos, he identified a chance to impact the Bitcoin network. And it does feel like casinos, but again, this is a very efficient casino relative to a lot of what's been going on recently. And how they differ from other standards, I think, is important and a really good delineation here. So Runes versus BRC20 uses the UTXO-based model, minimizing the junk UTXOs, tokenizing easily. BRC20 is considered more complex, requiring the minting of an NFT before creating the token, causing this network congestion due to excessive junk UTXOs. So you have it just weighs the system much more, and it carries and and then you have to pay to mint the nice quality. I mean, we've seen sort of the 8-bit has been on trend because it's cheaper to do this way. It's the easy way to because this is a smaller size, so it's not going to tax the network, and I'm not going to get charged as much to generate this. Runes versus ORC20 offer a simpler approach and more efficient fungible token protocol designed to fit seamlessly into the Bitcoin system. Was brought about to address the inefficiency of BRC20, hoping to fix issues such as minimizing name systems and absence of solid anti-double spending systems. Somebody in its comment section, please let me know what the hell that was, double spending systems. Runes versus other protocols, Taproots and Counterparty, differentiates itself by not requiring off-chain data or native token, unlike Counterparty, which isn't UTXO-based. Often relies on complex frameworks or need extra elements like native tokens or off-chain data management. So again, bringing things more on-chain efficiently and utilizing that foreverness, the forever chain, like a diamond, the foreverness of Bitcoin and the solidity, not the solidity, but the solidness of Bitcoin in which to leverage financial systems, hopefully down the line. But other things, art, a lot of things, and right now, meme coins. So technical features, UTXO-based structure, simplified token management, user-friendly protocol design, flexible assignment and transfer of balances, I think was also important as well. And additional data pushes allow for flexible assignment and transfer rune balances, invalid protocol messages, burn runes, protecting future upgrades. So there is this way of transacting that seems like it's been well thought about throughout its process as this home for meme coins that's about to come. How could runes impact Bitcoin scalability and the blockchain bloat, as I was talking about? Enhances the scalability, alleviates the bloat. Talked about that technical approach. Token issuance. Runes begins with an issuance transaction, defining the token symbol, supply, and decimals. I think it can go up to tenths for some reason. The supply is tied to a specific UTXO, and following transfers split this UTXO into new ones. Runes use the OP return function to store data in contrast to the Ordinals protocol, which uses the witness part of a transaction. So you see it's utilizing the handshakes and the protocol to ride along those waves of protocol, and it's kind of like a frequency modulation, right? We're assigning data to the modulation, or maybe it's more like amplitude modulation because we're putting data on the amplitude. So it has that ability of utilizing the system to carry data, which is brilliant. What challenges and controversies surround the adoption of runes? Runes protocol in the Bitcoin community met some hurdles, from technical issues to community approvals and contrasting protocols. Many commentators believe that the primary issue of the runes protocol is a lack of unified standard, which has caused fragmentation and multiple paths in the emergence of runestones and pipe. This lack of set standard can lead to difficulty with infrastructure, especially indexing runes. Challenges heightened by the need for more consistency. Runes UTXO-based approach offers potential compatibility with the Lightning Network, which excites the hell out of me. It is in contrast to the established account-based model of BRC20. Runes strives to be more efficient with its on-chain footprint and data storage. However, it has a different level of established infrastructure than the widespread acceptance of that BRC20, particularly in Asia. Hey. Community engagement and adoption can also pose significant hurdles. BRC20, although more established in runes, caused a divide among the Bitcoin community. I felt it, and I hope I expressed a little bit of it. It was just that fear of we're messing with something that doesn't need to be messed with, but it's going to make it better. That's kind of like, the history of what we've seen, and that's why I brought up ETH as when you're mining ETH back in the day, and then it kind of broke it in a sense, and then advanced it, and then brains had to come up with proof of stake and how to implement that. And so it improves the network as we build on it, hopefully. So what's new with runes? Fungible tokens are 99% scams and memes. Yes, they are. However, they don't appear to be going away anytime soon. I guess that's a quote from Casey. But specifically, he's initiating the release of runes due to his disdain for the unapproved iteration of interchangeable tokens on Bitcoin known as BRC20s. Rodermod believes that non-runes protocols for fungible tokens such as BRC20s are of lower quality. According to him, runes will outperform BRC20 for several reasons, one of which is that they minimize the number of on-chain minting transactions. For instance, BRC20 token Ordi has thousands of minting transactions upon release. By utilizing alternative methods, Rodermod's runes protocol will combine the minting transactions, thereby decreasing the on-chain impacts of runes. Kind of like the Lightning Network in a sense, right? So it's like taking all of the in a quasi layer 2 way and just taking all of them and saying, okay, that's the change right there. We need just one transaction for all that. Ordinals also employed advanced techniques to merge data and minimize their on-chain presence. The Rune Stone airdrop, a component of the Bitcoin Ordinals project, represents the community's unwavering aspiration to make a lasting impact and connect with future generations. I feel like Leonidas just wrote this. This distribution of 112,383 runestones to Bitcoin wallets was a significant undertaking to acknowledge early advocates of the Ordinals movement, particularly those actively involved in its first year. To qualify for the airdrop, participants must have a minimum of 3 inscriptions, except for the file formats that weren't included. The project emphasized the collaborative, voluntary aspect of the initiative with no portion set aside for the team or investors, just meaning that there's no centrality here. They're trying to eliminate those that would try and take advantage of this momentous occasion. Runestone's thinking along those lines. RSIC pre-mining, the meta protocol of the RSIC rune-specific inscription circuit incorporates both ordinals and yield farming, providing a collection of 21,000 Bitcoin NFTs that showcase runic symbols. That's the thing, is like you're seeing a lot of ordinals and Bitcoin NFTs at the moment saying, they're going into runes hard, and anticipating for building a community for an airdrop, for this raining of mana from the sky, which is going to come to those who have come early and are here and ready. And that's the thing too, is like, there are projects that are planning on entering this space that might not be doing it on day one. I think there's those that are doing it like on day one. RSIC, Runestone, I think maybe even Tiny Vikings. It's like everyone's preparing. Everyone's doing etching now. You have your NFTs. You can kind of quasi stake, earn etchings, and then when it comes time for the airdrop, etchings rain, and you get them. So, but there's other projects who are like, yeah, that's good. We have a plan for that, and we'll talk more about some of those others, like Uniforce, who are recent minters of Ordinals, but like they have a storytelling mechanism for it, which I think is really, really genius and could be a lot of fun and deliver a bit more value to the understandability of this process. Because for me, without narrative, it's just like we don't understand quite where we're at and why we need certain things. And but if it's told to us in a story, we tend to gravitate and understand a little better. Uncommon Goods and Casey's hard-coded Rune Zero. The narrative around runes and related projects like Runestone and RSIC involve deep integration with Bitcoin architecture, emphasizing interoperability, improve UTXO management, a simpler user interface. Hopefully it's just as simple as Magic Eden makes it. Sora Ventures focuses on Bitcoin ecosystem, has raised $3 million for its Rune Liquid fund to support Rune's protocol. Liquid assets, the fund has attracted investments. Notables like Bankless Ventures, Spaceship DAO, BTC and Inc. and BTC Magazine. Final word. Casey Rodemark, creator of the Ordinals protocol, has added a fresh take on fungible tokens to the Bitcoin environment with the introduction of the Runes protocol using a UTXO-based model. It stands out from other similar Bitcoin protocols such as BRC20 and ORC20 and Stamps. Hey, I remember Stamps. Runes aims to make generating and managing interchangeable tokens in the blockchain simpler and better. Its design emphasizes reducing the chain's complexity and footprint, super important, and it removes the need to create unnecessary UTXOs. Unlike BRC20 protocols that can congest the network, Runes offers a more unified and effective system that works within the Bitcoin network. Rune stands out from other protocols as it doesn't require any off-chain data or its own token. Incorporation with Bitcoin would bring about greater adoption of fresh asset management opportunities. Nevertheless, may face difficulties, such as gaining the community's approval, competing with long-standing protocols like BRC20. As long as you make it rain on those that are coming early, you have that chance. And I think that's why everyone's running into this screaming meme coins, because we understand that. We understand the casino, but it's meant to push this technology further. It's meant to allow us to improve this network, which is gaining mainstream adoption. Gate.io does another series of these. I recommend you guys check out these, whether it's these exchanges, but, check out your favorite exchange, because they probably have something like this, where they talk about ordinals and what's going on with Bitcoin, just to kind of bring people and users to their platform, especially if they're developing a wallet like OKX is. OKX just announced a couple days ago that they're developing their wallet and releasing their wallet soon, and support for runes. You can even see the runes on Magic Eden if you go on there. It's it's like, hey, Ordinals. Like, you're like, whoa, hey, they're like ready for runes there. But showing off right now, you saw earlier in the show, Tiny Vikings. Tiny Vikings, I recommend because it's a fun little community that did a massive airdrop of 20,000, 100,000, I think it was, across a lot of early adopters. But it's just like it's 20,000, sorry, 20,000. 100,000 is somebody else. But they are also, for me, kind of like a low-cost entry point, honestly. It's just like, hey, I want to learn about it. I want to get my feet wet. Tiny Vikings is, a good little community, a low price, very helpful community. And I think they have a plan here that makes sense to me when you're talking about wanting to get into meme coins and wanting to get, it's like, no, flood on anybody else, but like when I'm thinking about like memes, I'm thinking about like, look at these little guys, like these little, Viking things. They've thought about this. They thought about this process, and they understand, it seems, what they need to power memes. And you go to their Twitter, and you can just see everyone actively working and utilizing these little guys as memes. So the mimic quality of the project is as superior, I think, to any that's I've seen so far. I mean, this is including runestones and RSIC, because RSIC, I don't understand it. It's like a graph of like runes, and I'm just like, cool, but like how do you make that a meme coin? As long as it goes up, sure. Like everyone's gonna be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what the hell a bohm is. I didn't see I don't know what a bohm looks like, but everyone's gonna be on it if they hear people are making money with it. Oh, okay, get introduced to bohm, and hopefully then that chain and improves, and that project can pivot and leverage itself as a social token, as all these other things that they could do with it. Most don't, but they could. But this is why I kind of like this project, as well as Oniforce, because you can see a longer vision here, a bigger vision. Oh, hey, here's the hold on, there we go. That's how to put on those, for those who don't know. This is the Sound hardware, easy earphones. And so you put them in facing away into the ear. Um, so Tiny Vikings is a great entry point, good community. I think every community that's really succeeding right now, especially Pizza Ninjas, holy cow, is introducing the idea that they are here for the support of of not just this their project, but the space, and they're going to educate you. So I think Pizza Ninjas, they did maybe like a 3-4x in 2 days, just announcing a kind of a courses on how to prepare for this, because there's more to just the node, and we'll talk about this just a bit, but and do the first step together. But there's more than just setting up a node, which is actually a little easy. And I'm not gonna for those of you who have stuck around, it's actually quite easy to get the node going. But once you have the node going, then it's kind of up to you. It's like looking at the inspector from minting from contract. Yeah, you can look at the inspector and be like, look at the code, but then like, how do you actuate it, and how do you function it? We'll have to do further on down the line, because guys, I'm learning just like you. I'm learning from these great communities, who are doing this. But I do know how to run a node. I do that. I do know that, and I have run a node for like 3 years, but I never looked at it. Who looks at their node? This is crazy to me. Like to hear that like suddenly a node like was important. I was like, oh, I just ran this because I wanted to support Bitcoin, and I love the network, and I wanted to survive any apocalypse in other countries or what have you. So looking at, of course, projects like Pizza Ninjas. If you can't get in there, I understand. That's why I'm kind of highlighting other projects like Tiny Vikings, and of course Oniforce. I'm a fan of here at the show. CEO Star Lordy came on the show talking a little bit about their plans for their ordinals, and I think this is cool too. This is something that was a bit overlooked, that we know there's traits to these their ordinals, and with this slider it reveals a duality, if you will, between these characters. And so there was a snapshot yesterday that might be good for those who are holding, and I think they're also suggesting there's more snapshots down the line, and that's suggests again there's a plan here, that more than just like, hey, make it rain with this coin. I think Runestone has a plan. They're gonna rain it down. That's the 100,000, right? Rain down a lot of the coin, but also there's other projects who are taking it a bit slower. They're like, okay, well, we don't have to be first, but we can incorporate this into our project that makes sense in these other ways. And so now for the easy part, is let's set up a Bitcoin Core node together. Ah. And so again, this is the weird part. Everyone talks about this, like the actual node part. It can be complex, and I'll have these down below. How to run the Bitcoin node and core, and it's like I don't want to say it overcomplicates it, but it does overcomplicate it. Going to hold on, let me clear this and try and give you guys the biggest picture I can. But so Bitcoin Core, go to Bitcoin Core, and I'll bring this out because I need to show you that menu. And so here, you want to go to run a full node. And guys, this is the TLDR of TLDRs. Please read through this, do your own due diligence on anything you do. This is the TLDR of TLDRs. Literally, just go click on run a full node. Pick, are you Mac or are you Windows? Okay, pick one. And let me close this message here. And then it'll break it down for you. And again, even in the breakdown, it has, checks and balances. Yeah, it's cool if, you wanted to check those, and please do. But like, at its core, it's download Bitcore, slide Bitcore into your applications. There's other Windows installations. If you go to YouTube, actually, YouTube is now starting to cook with a couple. Maybe I'll put those down below as well, of Windows installations. But I'm a Mac, and so it's as easy as that, sliding that Bitcoin Core into your applications, starting it up, firing it up, placing it. One of the really interesting ideas on innovation here was to put them onto an SSD, which I thought was really interesting. And for me, I travel sometimes, and maybe, I want to have access to it, but also, it seemed like a stronger network thing as well, to be able to take this, offline, take it offline, because the great thing about Bitcoin Core and nodes is that once you connect back in, it's going to update that node. The system knows to update, hey, that node has been asleep, for a week or 2 weeks, even if you're running it, as few times as that, it's still an ability for the network to have a copy of itself, SSD, a copy of itself, somewhere, just in case the apocalypse. So it's just a way of strengthening the network, getting more copies of the network out, but putting it onto an SSD. So when you come to that targeting drive, that's kind of the vogue right now. I'm sure it's serving its purpose down the line, and of course, doing the SSD is important because you need speed, le bon vitesse, because it took 2 days with an SSD. On a fairly good connection. I don't know. How am I coming in? Am I coming in glitchy? I don't know. If I'm not, please like, subscribe, share this. TLDR, because a lot of people are confused about this. And again, this is so simple as to sliding it in there. Target drive, you slide it into the applications. This is your target drive. This is where you want the library to be. And then once that library is set and updated, again, that's the long part. That's the part where everyone's like, oh, this is taking days. I just went over in the 2 steps it takes: download, slide it into the applications. That's your target drive, the SSD. Step away from 2 days, for 2 days, and let it run and download the chain. So it's a big one. Recommended about 20 gigabytes. And when you first start, you'll know that you did it right if you start it and you see the transactions start at 2009-ish. I started and then I noticed it was 2012, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, like posted on Twitter. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start a second node because I like this idea of portability. But then I was like, wait, why is Bitcoin starting at 2012? That doesn't make sense. I need the whole chain. And apparently you need the whole chain. So in that functionality of the, it'll ask you, like, how many gigabytes do you want to incorporate? It might default to 2. I think that's what happened. It defaulted at 2 initially, and then it defaulted to 7 for some reason once I clicked into the viewer. And I was like, well, I want a little more power. I need a little more room for growth. So I'm going to go to 8, or maybe even I did 10, because I was going to be like, I'm here for the long term, and doing, this big section, and then started it. And then realized later that I was just like, oh no, this hasn't started early enough. So it's only taking, it's called prune mode. So basically it just takes, it'll give you your copy of however big your network that you want to contribute to. And so you're like, oh, I just want to, run 5, 7 gigabytes. I have that free or whatever. And then you can, contribute some of the network. But this Ordinals and Runes requires the whole network apparently. And that's the trick here. So making sure that your 2009 all the way to 2024 today is necessary in order for you to interact with the Runes protocol in the way that we're going to talk about hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I know it's coming fast. Maybe I might do some drop-in ones as I'm learning, as I'm understanding, how to approach this quasi mint from contract, with Runes, with our nodes, and learning together, really with these communities. So follow all the people I'm gonna put down in the comment section down below. Join their discords, buy into their projects if you can. You'll definitely get a front seat to a lot of the action going on. And I know it's a little tough, and that's why I kind of offered like differing levels, because it's intimidating to like, oh gosh, I got to spend a few grand. Well, no, there's a couple of easy layups, if you will, for entering this space. And so I have to jump, so I will see you guys